Hello, Liam Horan here from Slideshows Careers. We've had a query from a client of ours who is going for a job interview next week, and they've been invited to make a 15-minute presentation at the start of the interview on their vision for the job, what they're going to bring to the position. And what's different about this one, I suppose, from most other presentations that occur in this type of situation, is that there's a specification from the employer that they do not use technology. So no PowerPoint, no Prezi, no slideshow on the wall during the presentation. So just to give some advice to you if you find yourself in a similar position, how you might go about this. The first thing I'd say is the presentation is always you. It is never the slideshow. It is never the PowerPoint. These are just vehicles or crutches or conduits through which you show your capacity for the job. So the fact that there is no technology in this occasion should not throw you all that much, because in fact it could even be a bonus for you, because sometimes people get overly reliant on the technology. It assumes far too much importance, with the result that the presenter presents very competently but in a kind of a detached, disembodied way. So what I would recommend here is cue cards. Just a few simple, the A5 on its side kind of cue cards with bullet points on there to prompt you during the presentation. Okay, on that you'll have headlines just saying, marketing drive in such and such a sector or such and such a market, new website, new management or new meetings of staff scheduled that instead of meeting once a month, we'll meet by Skype once a week. Whatever your actual ideas are, have them down there on the piece of paper, but only in bullet point format, so that when you're in there presenting, you are presenting as a real person. You're not just reading a speech. You're not just delivering something you prepared beforehand. You prepare to deliver in a very organic or natural kind of way. However, you have worked hard on it beforehand. You have got your ideas down on paper. You've gone through your presentation, your speech on a good number of occasions before you deliver. Okay? So then you go into the room. You will probably be standing up because you're presenting as opposed to discussing, but you are prepared for any eventuality. They may well ask you to sit down. You've got to be prepared for that as well. But you get up and you deliver, you talk in as natural a way as possible. You work your way through your cue cards and you give the ideas you have for the job. What people sometimes do is they try to go into a different zone. They try to, go somewhere that's not natural for them. Really try and be as natural as you can. Use your own natural communication style, the words that come naturally to you, talking about the job that you should know very well if you're being called to give this presentation. A few other tips I would give you here is 15 minutes is the time they have allotted for this. I would be aiming to do it in 13 minutes tops in this occasion. Give yourself time to breathe. Don't be rushing so that you're wondering, oh, I'm going to be right up against the clock here. So if you find after doing your first series of cue cards that it's taken you 14 and a half minutes to present, shorten it in some way. Maybe take out one point. Don't try and fill the 15 minutes. For two reasons: it'll put too much pressure on you, and secondly, you may end up bombarding the interview panel with too much information. There's only so much they can take on board. So rather than giving everything you will ever do in this job in the future, pick the 4 or 5 or 6 key things you're going to do. Prove those points well. I call this going a mile deep rather than a mile wide. Sometimes people feel the need to tick every box in a presentation of this style that, oh, I left nothing unsaid. In my view, that's going to leave you saying a lot, but persuading about very little. Okay? Be bright and breezy. Be real. Be yourself. Present in as natural a way as I said. That's the word that keeps coming back here, is natural. It's the thing that comes most naturally to us, paradoxically, and but yet it's the thing we most quickly abandon when we go to present. We start going somewhere else. We start trying to use language that is not the language we would use in a day-to-day basis. So make it as true to the job, as true to yourself as possible. Don't try and put it in some new frame or sociological kind of context. Just tell us like it is, okay? The other key thing about presenting your vision for the job is if you say, here are the 5 or 6 key things I'm going to do in this job, each time give evidence that suggests you can do this. So if you're going to say, I will develop this company in a new market. Give an example where you've done that before. You may not have an exact parallel example, but find the best example. So my vision is we can develop into a new area, a new product line for the company. I've done this before in the case of, okay? Without that kind of evidence, it can be empty, it can be abstract. And the challenge always in a presentation or an interview is to be concrete, okay? I like presentations for candidates that I work with, because that 15 minutes or 13 as I'm recommending is your time. It is probably the only time in the interview you can totally control what you're going to say. So you know going in, I've got this platform, I'm going to use it in this way. If you use it well, if you bring forward good ideas, if you show yourself to be credible, to be competent, to be confident, that will infect the rest of the interview. The interview panel will likely ask you questions on what you raised there, and therefore you're inviting them further and further into what you've prepared. So you have less to fear than if you're going in to a completely open book of an interview. So key points. Know the 5 or 6 key things you want to say. Don't read it out. Rely on your bullet points to prompt you. Practice, but do not try and learn off. Be yourself and give evidence of when you've done something similar in the past. For more, slideshows.careers.com. We do interview training, mock interviews, presentation training, public speaking, CV preparation. We have offices nationwide, and we have a full online service as well. You can call us to find out more about what we do on 094 95 42965. Thank you and good luck.